one place.
Goss & Son Jewelers, downtown on the Ocala Square.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
Diamonds in the sunset, now your time has come.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Friday, Robin. Friday.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
It's a beautiful Friday.
It's a good thing. Friday is always a good thing. So when it's a beautiful day, it's beautiful +1. And we're going to make it +2 because we have on the phone Crow Johnson Evans, and she makes the world a little bit more beautiful. It sounds very corny. I intended it to be corny. She is an award-winning singer, songwriter, performer, photographer, a zoologist, and
that's cool.
I know it's like that's the other side of the brain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that science? She's a founding board member of the Writers Colony at Dairy Hollow in Eureka, Arkansas. That would be. We have a Eureka around here, don't we?
In Eureka, Florida.
That's when they finally found it. It's Eureka.
Finally
got home. She's written a wonderful book. It's called Flights of Fancy: Short Stories, Essays, Novella, and other pieces, and clearly both sides of her brain working. Crow Johnson Evans, we've been looking forward to speaking to you. We got the sense that this was going to be very colorful because you are very colorful. Good morning, Crow.
Good morning. How are you doing, Larry and Robin?
Good.
This is great.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from northwest Arkansas.
All right. What's it like over there?
It's a little chilly this morning, and we had a lot of rain yesterday.
All right. Well, tell us about yourself. Is this a first book for you?
It is a first book. I was a songwriter for many, many years, and enjoyed interacting with audiences and telling stories in that form. And we have been taking care of our older parents, which many people do now.
Right.
And so I started writing prose at home and realized, well, as you know, a song is maybe 3 or 4 minutes. And when you're writing a short story or a novel, the canvas is enormous.
Let me ask you this: as a songwriter, you're not only writing a lyric, a set of words, but you're also writing a music that goes with it, and which also helps to tell the story. Did you miss that? Did you miss that opportunity to have instant color? Well, music kind of adds color to words, right?
It's the biggest challenge to try to get. You can't put vocal texture. You can't put minor or major chord changes.
Yeah, right,
you can't use tempo or get real soft and then get bold. So you have to try to figure out ways to do all that on a flat page, and it's fascinating to me.
Huh. Now you said you were a songwriter. I'm going to guess that you still are.
Well, I probably always will be, but my focus really changed after I stopped touring.
Do you need that? Do you need to be focused on one thing at a time? I guess I'm just kind of comparing notes. I think that's what I feel, and Robin and I have felt this. It's like if we're on one track, okay, I can't do the other thing yet. Are you the same way? Are you a one track or you one project at a time kind of a person?
Oh, this is the joy of being semi-retired. During the time that I was touring and writing full time and recording, I told people I have to keep pedaling the bicycle or it will fall over.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, I like that.
That's a great.
That's very poetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so now I've got the opportunity. I mean, it's such a luxury to be able to dabble with other things. I'm a spinner and a weaver, and I knit. So I'm exploring texture and color in the weaving, and then the writing. So they balance each other very well.
But everything that you do is from the side of the brain that is creative. Zoologist, on the other hand, it's like the square trying to go in the round hole. How does zoology fit into all of that?
I have no idea.
She loves animals.
Probably love of nature. My husband and I adore getting out into the country. We love wildlife. And there's a centering that happens for me when I'm in nature that doesn't happen in a big city. And I think the love of nature and curiosity is what put me into zoology.
And just reading your book, it seems that you're an extremely well-rounded person. You're not afraid to give. You're not afraid to share, especially since, Larry mentioned it in the beginning that you're a founding member of the Writers Colony. And to be able to have a craft and have a passion and a love and not be afraid to share it with others is truly commendable.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you.
By the way, I like the word colony.
Yes.
I do. Well, everybody has writers group. I like when somebody has a new way of saying something.
Yeah.
We're a writers colony.
Yeah.
Right?
In the last decade, the colony has hosted hundreds of people from all over the world, writers that will come and have uninterrupted time. And it is, of course, Eureka Springs, Arkansas is a gorgeous town. It's a wonderful place. But they really have an opportunity to interact, but also get deep inside themselves and work, and it's great.
You know what I think is a wonderful approach to writing is the way, as we're reading the book, we are, we're caught up like we are in any good book, and we get to the end of a chapter, and suddenly we're reading a lyric. Suddenly we're reading a poem. Right, and I think that's almost like, wow, we're taking a break here or something. Right?
Well, they're not really poetry because, as you know, songs require all that other stuff to really work. But so many of the people who used to come to my performances would say, "Oh, I love the lyrics to that," or, the story it tells is really important. So I threw them in.
Well, I love them, and I think it works well in the context of the book that we're talking about today, Flights of Fancy. So the listeners always want to know what's between the covers. Give them how do you do a movie trailer version of this book?
Impossible.
Give it a shot. Give us a movie trailer version of the book. The story and the novella, at least.
Oh my gosh. Well, I look at it as a bag of different colored marbles.
Huh.
Each story takes you in a different direction with a different texture. So there's some science fiction on one story, some are pure essay speculation, and then the novella is a semi-risque cozy mystery.
I like that one a lot.
Oh, you just sold a bunch of books. That was good. I think Semi-Risque sold a lot of books. Yeah.
Well, there's nothing in there that would shock most of the folks and grab it.
Crow, is there a story behind your name?
Yes, my grandfather, his last name was Crocheron, Crocheron, and everybody called him Crow.
Huh.
He played a big part in my life, and so I took over his name when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's a great name too.
It's amazing for someone who is singing. It was very easy to remember.
Right.
Yeah, I bet it was. Is this this is a first book? We already established that. And are there plans to write more? Did you fall in love with the whole process of writing?
I did. I really did. I've been writing in a writers group that meets once every other week for about 10 years now. And that process has been wonderful. So I just never thought of putting a book together because you need to have a long history and 30 books behind you and, all the stuff that you hear about. And I realized, no, I just loved it and I was going to put it out. And I found a publisher, fortunately, who she has a genre called Southern Weird.
Looked
at that and I said, I think that's me.
And also you are delving into the other type of arts. You mentioned weaving. Mm-hmm. And that is a truly creative area also, because you take nothing but air and yarn and just kind of weave different patterns and different colors into things. And that's what you do as a songwriter, because you have to be in check with your emotions, but you have to be able to reach the emotions of another individual by whatever it is they're experiencing in their life at that particular time.
In music, you have to sell the story yourself. So even if they're looking at you and your appearance actually becomes part of the song in live performance. Of course, on a record, it's different.
Yeah.
But when it's on a page, you don't have to be identified with how you present it physically. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I was able to play with characters like Madame Butterfly, which is just an absolute hoot. In creating the weaving and spinning, I like to take things as far as I possibly can and then say, what would happen if I went just a little bit farther to make this even more alive or more special? And it's the same. It's all connected, and you realize that.
You know, one of the differences, I guess, between writing songs and writing a book is that in a novel especially, you develop a character or a set of characters that easily could be repeated in another book, and another book, and another book. You could have these characters that go on forever. If Jim Croce took Bad Leroy Brown and did another one, and did another one, and did another one, it wouldn't have worked. You know, so when you have character development in a song, and it does happen in songs, it's just usually you don't have a sequel. Unless your name is Harry Chapin. And
Right.
Well, I'm working on the sequel for Madame from the novella. And it will involve weaving, and the working title of it is Looming Death.
Oh, I like that. That's appropriate.
So will that be different in the regard of the kind of buffet?
Oh, I don't know. It probably will be different, but we'll have to talk later to find out how it goes.
So are the characters in your book, are the characters that you're developing that you'll carry on, are they starting to become part of your life?
They talk to me.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of funny, and sometimes at inopportune times.
You see, I need a semi-risque character to talk to me now and then.
I think so.
You know, there used to be a 900 number for that, and the phone company told me not to do that anymore.
You can get in big trouble for that.
When you delved into this project, how did you have any negative comments at all from the people in your circle, because you were such a successful songwriter and a performer? Sometimes when people are trying something new, they get the other people in their life saying, well, no, maybe you shouldn't do that. You should stick with what you're successful at.
I didn't really have that, but I had kind of gone into semi-retirement anyway, and it was starting to focus on different things. The one suggestion that other writers and people in the group said, well, what is the unifying concept, emotion, or similarity in all these different pieces that you'll be able to say, oh, it's a book about?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And
they're preparing you for the radio interviews. That's what they were doing.
Well, I looked at it kind of like you create a set when you're going to perform.
Mm-hmm.
If you did 8 songs or 9 songs in the key of G, all that were love songs with the same tempo, it might be nice, but you'd probably lose people. And so I like variety. I like to change the pace. I like to make it more colorful.
Yes.
And so I thought, why not try it in a book?
Okay, so you brought up love songs, and I wanted to ask you something.
Yeah.
Quite often when writers write, it doesn't matter if it's a song or not, some of their political feelings end up in their writing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, actually. But sometimes you stay away from that. Now, I think you know a little bit about Robin and I. You know that we've done children's music.
Yes.
So we clearly have to stay away from some topics. Now, not on this radio show, we don't. I mean, we do. But as far as the stuff we release under the Robin and the Giant name for children, I mean, clearly we're gonna be, you know, hurting ourselves if we cross that line.
Yeah, I understand totally. The first 3 short stories in the book are appropriate for young audiences, middle-aged, middle-aged kids or middle school, because although I think any parent needs to read anything before a child sees it. But
yeah, right.
But I go everywhere in there, and it is a book for adults.
No, but and so with that in mind, and knowing that, See, let's say I wrote a book for my son when he was 9.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
and I guess it was more appropriate for 12. Okay, so I didn't stick to like the tiny little children themes. I made sure I expanded a little bit, and I guess, and in the writing that we do, well, the talking that we do on this show, sometimes we write it. Most of the times we just talk. but it does creep in there, and in a story. In other words, are you trying to give any messages in the story?
That's not my mission.
That's not your mission. Okay.
No. I think if I had a mission, it might be to present ideas and images and events in such a way that the reader will resonate with it. There'll be something that they feel. It's like looking in a mirror. Oh, part of me is like Miss Henrietta, or oh, my grandmother was a little like that. So I think I've tried. Really, I'm not into preaching.
well, I'm going to tell you what it felt like to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of a show on the Travel Channel that Samantha Brown hosts. I don't know what it's called. It might be called Samantha Brown. It might even be old because I see it on the internet. But anyway, I don't know why I like it. There's no real, there is substance to it. But in other words, I enjoy going there.
Good.
And that's what I felt about the book. I enjoy going there.
That knocks me out. Can I quote you?
Does that make sense? It's a place I like. It's kind of like going to, when you drive to the beach and somebody says, why are you at the beach? You know, I like it here. I don't know. I just like being here.
That's ideal. I'm thrilled.
Since you belong to a writers group, how do you give yourself healthy critiques, and how do you take healthy critiques from others? Because sometimes somebody just has to rewrite a portion of something, whatever it is they created, but that's their project, that's their baby in a sense, and they don't want to change it. How do you do that?
It came out of my head. It had to have been from God. What do you mean it's wrong?
Yeah, right.
I'm really lucky. The writers group that I found has been together probably 13 years. I haven't been in it that long. But it is a very gentle one in that no one's going to say, that stinks. No one's going to say, why'd you do that? There are, of course, so many different levels to the writing, and everyone is open to the suggestions. And you throw all the suggestions out, and then the writer decides what they want to do with it. So it's wonderful. And one of the best nights I had at the writers group was I read a chapter, and I thought the chapter worked really well. I was excited. And one of the people looked at me, and she said, "You're a lot better writer than that."
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, no, that stung, didn't it?
And it was kind of like, oh.
Oh.
And so we nudge each other without being hateful. And things don't always go. I mean, other writers have books now from the group, and they didn't. My suggestions weren't necessarily the ones that they picked, and vice versa.
Well, here's the real truth about that, though. That little comment, as much as it stung, probably made you a better writer.
Yeah, I hope.
Because that's the thing. I mean, if you have something that you've created, you show it to 12 people, and all 11 of them tell you it's great, and then one person says, here's a couple of suggestions that you might not have thought of, and you resent it at first because you say, come on, 11 people like it. What are you, but they're not being mean. They're really giving you good advice or giving you some good. You sometimes say you don't let go of that, do you? I mean, you carry that around for a few days. And it actually, eventually, if it's true, if it's a real good critique, you will use it and it'll make you better.
It's interesting. With writing, I'm wide open. I want to hear what anybody thinks about it. If it bothers them, for some reason. With songs, maybe because I started writing when I was young and continued for so many years, I was not a good person to receive criticism.
Oh, you were not? Okay.
Not
but with writing, you're open. Okay. That's interesting. Well, it's very personal, though, songs.
Well, yeah, it is. I really wanted to. I did a little bit of co-writing, but I stayed inside my own bubble for most of the songwriting.
And is that a good thing?
I don't know. I can see how it would have been wonderful if I could see how things would be different. If I had been able to open that up. But I think from my own development and my own sense of self, I needed to stay within that space and figure out how I felt about things. A lot of times, until I sang it in a song, I hadn't thought through things. And so I think it was part of my growing and learning process.
Well, I'm happy to get to know you, Crow. Crow Johnson Evans is our guest. Her book is called Flights of Fancy, Short Stories, Essays, Novella, and Other Pieces. Crow, can I put you on the spot a little bit?
Okay.
Take us through your day. Let us be the little hamster in your pocket. What are we going to do? What time are we waking up? What are we having for breakfast? What are we going to do today?
Well, this is Friday, so my mother, who's 88 years old, goes to Kiwanis on Friday morning.
Well, good for her.
So this is a 5:30 wake-up morning.
Okay.
And I get up, I drink coffee, and my husband and I are so quiet in the morning. we clutch our coffee cups and stare. And then part of the day, I usually go in and work. I also have my mother-in-law here, and so we're looking after two moms in the house, which for a couple who never raised children, this is quite an adventure. But my husband's a dentist, and I'll go in and do numbers stuff for him. All of the billing and the columns of numbers and all that other brain stuff.
That's the zoology,
yeah. And then I give myself time to walk and write and spin if I can. Try to get little bits of everything in.
Oh, and how important is being on the forefront of the different social medias that are available to everyone? Do you go for it? I mean, do you think they're really that necessary?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. That answers my question.
On a just a personal basis, for me, I used to play. I basically lived on the road, and after I married my husband, I was on the road for 2 months before I came back home.
Oh.
And so there were so many people, so many hugs, so many stories on the road. When I stopped touring like that, which it was time. I mean, I'm 68. It's time.
Oh, wow.
But when I stopped that, with the social media, people say, "Hey, I saw you in Tucson, and glad to be in touch again." And so a lot of the music community and the community of friends through festivals and all that are in touch on a daily basis. And this is, I just think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, too, because you realize everyone's life changes, and it always changes in ways you don't always expect. And people struggle. Some people make great choices, and some don't. So it means a lot to me. Although I don't care if Sally Boo brushed her teeth at 10 o'clock last night.
Right. Exactly.
And Sally Boo is on my list of friends, too.
There you go.
Because I had that same thing. Fun talking to you. It sounds like we've got a lot in common. And I don't know Melanie Safka personally, Melanie, the singer-songwriter, but you're reminding me of her for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, well, thank you.
You know who she is, right? Of course.
Nope.
Yes, you do.
No,
you don't know Melanie?
Melanie?
Yeah. You know, look what they done to my song, Ma, that lady.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I sure do. In fact, I've actually met her.
Oh, wow.
Years ago. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on the air with us. The book is called Flights of Fancy. Good luck with it. Come back on if you're ever in Florida or if we're ever in Arkansas. We'll knock on your door.
Well, I will come knock on your door for sure. I really appreciate it. It's been delightful talking with you, Paul.
Let me give away this copy, though, and you can tell us how the rest of us can go buy one. The Flights of Fancy is up for grabs, if the one I have anyway. If you want it, call me. I'll leave your name on it. Crow Johnson Evans is who you will look up online. And Crow, tell me, do you have a website? We'll start there.
It's called crowspun.com. One word.
Clever. Crowspun.com.
And so it combines weaving stories and spinning tales. Yarns, I mean.
You are a true inspiration to everyone, Crow, because it really is nice to know that your grandfather was your inspiration, and then you're passing on your life life's loves and lessons to others, not just through your songs, but through your variety of writings as well. And that's where a person is one-on-one with someone, is when they have a book in their hand and you can just disappear for a while into another world.
Thank you so much. I listened to you two and listened to your music, and I felt the same thing there.
Oh,
that's very
thank
sweet.
you.
Yeah, we don't know what to do either. We're 25 years. We thought, maybe we should do something. Yeah, we're kind of at that point too.
Well, come visit in Arkansas. We'll sit on the back deck and talk about it.
Okay.
Well, you know what we've started doing though, Crow? We've started doing just cover songs without vocals. We're just doing like instrumentals. It's kind of
lovely.
It's kind of fun, but
there's some great pieces out there.
But we do miss it. It's kind of like weird. It's like you don't realize, you don't feel old.
No.
Oh no.
But you know that the younger audiences see you as old. That's what
Yeah.
Yeah, when the college kids would come up and say, my dad would love your music.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. I know. And you know what, Crow? And I know you know this. It's impossible. You can listen to Jason Mraz all you want. You're not going to change.
No.
Well, I'm going to actually do a gig, which is like a coming out of retirement gig for one night this next month. And I told everybody when I turned 80, I was going to get a bright red dress and be just like Alberta Hunter and go back out there and sing for the people.
Oh,
and
wow.
So
Yeah.
these crazy friends got together and arranged to have a red outfit made for me, and so
we got a long way to wait.
It's 12 years, but we're going to do a preview.
You better put it in mothballs.
Nice.
It's going to be a while. All right. Thank you, Crow. Crow Johnson Evans, come back. We enjoyed the interview so much, and I knew I would, too. I had a hunch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Crow. We'll take a little break and be right back.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
ABC News Now. I'm Daniela Bellotta. An unprecedented manhunt continues for one of the marathon bombing suspects in Watertown outside of Boston. Police say 19-year-old Zokhar Sarniev is heavily armed and could have other bombs in his possession. There's fear he could take hostages, which is why 1 million people in the Boston area have been ordered to stay inside. Sarniev's partner, his older brother, was shot and killed during a gunfight with police overnight. Their father, who is in Russia, where they are from, tells the Associated Press that Zokhar is a smart and accomplished medical student and a true angel. In West Texas, a day after a fertilizer plant explosion, the search through blocks of debris and smashed out houses continues for survivors. Authorities have now just confirmed that 12 people have been killed, 200 are hurt. Only a quarter of Americans expect their financial situation to improve over the next year, and a new poll also finding that only 46% of Americans now approve of how President Obama is handling the economy. This is ABC News.
From painting to mowing the grass to vacuuming, you'll spend hours maintaining your home. Here's one task to check off your to-do list: changing smoke alarm batteries. Replace your older alarms with new Kidde worry-free smoke alarms. The sealed-in lithium battery lasts 10 years, the recommended life of an alarm. No more searching for a battery and no more low battery chirps. Head to the Home Depot and check that box for a decade with Kidde worry-free smoke alarms. Kidde, technology that saves lives.
This spring, plant something beautiful in your driveway. Introducing the Lincoln Certified Pre-Owned Spring Event. Right now, get 1.9% APR on a certified pre-owned Lincoln of your choice, which comes with the confidence of our 6-year, 100,000-mile comprehensive warranty and amenities like 24/7 roadside assistance. The Lincoln Certified Pre-Owned Spring Event. Luxurious by any standards, certified by ours. Not all buyers qualify for Lincoln Automotive Financial Services limited term financing. Take delivery from dealer stock by 4/30/13. See dealer for qualifications, limited warranty, and details.
Why are so many Florida residents racing to the Walt Disney World theme parks to rediscover their all-time favorite classic attractions and explore what's new? They got a great deal on the 3-day Discover Disney ticket for just $119 plus tax. And why should you be racing to WOCA.com right now? Because you could win your tickets from the source. So get going. Visit WOCA.com for full details on how to win your 3-day Discover Disney tickets. You've You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
If there's one diamond event all year long you don't want to miss, it's Goss & Son Jewelers' $1 Million Diamond and Restyle event and sale for 3 days only. Thursday, April 25th, Friday, April 26th, and Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. each day. The Diamond and Restyle event and sale at Goss & Son Jewelers will feature a special selection of diamonds in all shapes and sizes. Princess, round, marquise, and radiant cuts. Plus 12 months interest-free. Ask for details. Save on Corey and Scott Sterling. Goss & Son Jewelers has been Ocala's jewelry headquarters for 64 years. If you love diamonds, do not miss this event. Goss & Son Jewelers Diamond and Restyle event and sale. Thursday, April 25th, Friday, April 26th, and Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And of course, it's only happening at one place.
Goss & Son Jewelers downtown on the Ocala Square.
Call me crazy. Some people say insanity is doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result. I think insanity is 1,000 single-sided full-color business cards for $15 or packing service for 50% off. Call me crazy.